If you're looking for a compact pistol that you can throw Jesus rocks with, look no further than the XDS. Now I chose this because it's a 45, a subcompact, and it's got a relatively decent trigger. Like if you really take your time, you get a nice clean break, which allows you to be able to shoot at range. Yeah, I know, what is it, like 3 yards or something like that is typically your self-defense situation, but what if? What if I have to shoot a little bit farther? For whatever reason. Well, let's test out and see how well it does. So that was at 25 yards standing. Now it looks bad because this is a 1/4 size silhouette, but if this was a full silhouette, they would have all been hits. Definitely all on the body. But still, out of the 5 shots I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All hits. 25 yards. Freehand. Well, what about if you got to shoot a little bit longer than 25 yards? So this is what I'm guesstimating 75 yards. Now, it's about 3 times farther than my 25 yard range, which I actually took a yardstick and measured out 25. So it might not be a perfect 75, but it gets you in the ballpark. So I fired 5 times. I got 1 hit, 2 hit. This one doesn't look like a hit because the paper tore, because I'm recycling an old target. But it is in fact a hit, and 3 hits. 3 out of 5. That's not that bad. That's 75 yards and it's off of a rest, like... You pulled up to Walmart and there's some psychopath shooting people up and you jump out of your car and you hide behind your engine block and lay across your hood or use your bumper, or you just plain old go prone. So what about if I don't have the option of a rest? For whatever reason. So I fired 6 shots standing. I only got 1 hit. Most of them were going in the dirt. I suspect that's my fault, not the gun's fault. So yes, this is definitely capable of making nice shots if you absolutely have to. Now, because of the short sight radius and how light this is, and the fact that the grip is real narrow, so it really puts a beating on your hands, you really gotta want to make a shot and slow down to take a shot. So why out of that one? Well, the reason I went with 45 is because my FNX 45 Tactical is in 45, and I got that because I eventually want to silence, and because I reload, I don't want to buy a bunch of crap for a bunch of different calibers. I mean, now it doesn't really matter, because I can write it off as a tax deductible, but before, it was quite important to me. So I set up all my reloading equipment just for one pistol caliber, 45. And that's what I was going to go with completely. This pistol does have its quirks. Yeah, it has a lot of advantages. So like you got an ambi mag release. You have a barrel, you have a feed ramp on the barrel, not the frame, which makes it exponentially more reliable. And you can put in a really snubby magazine. It's only 5 shots, but still, it cuts everything down to where this is very concealable. It does weigh a lot with the 45 in there. The next biggest quirk, when I first did this video, I said that it only likes 230 grain. That's because it was still relatively new to me, and when I first got it, because I got this for my girl for Mother's Day a while back, we had went to the range and I had like 200 rounds, and the first 50 were 230 grain, which it functioned without a problem. Then after 50, I started having hiccups. I eventually ran out of 230, then I went to 185, and it just wouldn't feed them. Turns out that's not the problem. It's not the grain of the round. This will shoot 50 rounds reliable. No problem. Right after cleaning it. Now from 50 to 100, you'll have 1 or 2 hiccups. Now 100 to 150, you'll start to have like quite a bit of hiccups. By the time you go 150 to 200, you'll have at least 1 hiccup per magazine. I discovered this because my girl was taking her girl to the range at the time, and first I would send them with a box of 50. They never had a problem because I'd come back, I'd clean the firearm when they got back. No issues at all. It functioned perfectly. Well, that wasn't enough for the girls. So then they started shooting up all my ammo. They'd go to the range with like 200 or 300 rounds, and they'd come back just reporting all these malfunctions. I'm like, what is going on? How are you having so many malfunctions? Now, something clearly broke on the firearm. So I cleaned her up, took it to the range myself. I only brought a box of 50. I shot it, never had a single hiccup. I'm like, no, this firearm is reliable. You are the problem. So they go back to the range again. They went through the first box, no problem. Second box, there was like 1, maybe 2 hiccups. By the third box, it was getting pretty bad. The fourth box, I actually brought it home. It was stuck halfway out of battery. Part of the case had peeled up and it got jammed so where you couldn't pull the slide back and you couldn't push the slide forward to shoot the round. So I cleared that out and I did some testing myself, like basically religiously, and I recreated this like 4 or 5 times. 50 rounds, 0 malfunctions. 50 to 100, I'd have like 1 or 2 malfunctions. 100 to 150, I'd have like maybe 10% malfunctions, something like that. Usually it just wasn't going all the way into battery and I'd have to hit the back. And then 150 to 200, I couldn't even really shoot it anymore because every single magazine I had at least 1 malfunction. So, as a concealed carry gun, this works just fine because you don't shoot 50 rounds in a concealed carry situation. Shoot, what, average of 3? And it will definitely function 3 just fine. You do have a loaded chamber indicator, which, whatever, I mean, I guess it's better than doing a press check, but I would rather just chamber around and then look at my magazine. Yep, there's definitely a round missing. Replace the round and put my magazine back in. But with this, you don't really have to. I still check the magazine anyway if I'm carrying this. Because I drive truck most of the time, and I can't have it in my particular truck, when I can carry is usually only on Sundays, I still check the magazine. Even though this comes up, because who knows, maybe it's dirty and it just got stuck up and it's giving me a false positive or something like that. So anyway, you got a loaded chamber indicator. It came with this extra magazine thing, which got a little pick rail on there, which is kind of cool because if you get a tack light for that, you can put it on there and then keep this on you. So if it's dark and you're like, okay, holy crap, there's a bunch of bloodthirsty ninjas coming after me, I need to defend myself, you can pull the tack light off of here, put it on your firearm, because trying to holster it with a tack light just doesn't make sense. You're kind of getting away from the point of a concealed carry, and that's so it's comfortable enough to where you actually carry it. And then you can run a tack light on there. But myself, I mean, I'm not going to lie. When I carry it, I only got 5 in the mag, 1 in the pipe. Yeah, you're like, oh, well, that's like a revolver. So there's nothing wrong with a revolver. Capacity usually don't win it. It's marksmanship and who can get cool. Yeah, poorly fired round can kill you just as much as an accurately fired round. But everybody always goes back to that cop shootout on the freeway back in Florida. And they fired a crap ton of rounds, and nobody hit. There was even semi-autos firing a crap ton of rounds. Marksmanship and being able to, like, okay, calm down. I am being shot at. I need to react to this. And really, like, if you start returning fire, who isn't going to break contact at that point? It would take a real psychopath to continue engaging, unless, of course, you're, like, preventing him from getting away, like you robbed a bank or something. But why would you be there in the first place trying to prevent him? The only reason you'd engage is if your family, you, or there is a psychopath at Walmart trying to shoot it up. And then maybe he might continue to fire. Who knows? But anyway, so the idea is I got 6 rounds to either put him down or buy me enough time to get my family out of there. Yes, you can get bigger magazines. If you would like, you can get 7. I thought I had an 8. Is this an 8-rounder? It comes with 8-rounders too, I thought. Apparently I don't have any. All I got on me is 5, 6, and 2 7s. Would I buy this again? Now that reloading isn't that big of an issue for me, no. I'm probably even going to go smaller than a 9. I'm probably going to go like a 380 concealed carry because this is really uncomfortable. It's a heavy firearm. Now, if I for sure wanted to get a 45, oh yes, most definitely. The competitive options against this are just garbage. You got the Shield, which has one of the worst triggers ever. It's next to impossible to hit anything with any, I mean, for me anyway. Better shooters can obviously do it, but for me, trying to make any sort of precision shots with a shield, it's just not possible for me. I have to be at concealed carry range to get any sort of respectable accuracy. The other 45 options, you got the Glock 30. Again, it's got a garbage trigger, and I believe that's even a double stack, so now it's getting even more uncomfortable. And then you got your 1911 variants. This trigger is no 1911 trigger, but compared to some of the variants that are out there, oh yeah, it's most definitely like a 1911 trigger. But an actual good 1911 trigger where the company didn't lose focus of what makes a 1911 awesome and they actually put a decent trigger in it, no, this can't hold a candle to it. Yes, those can make better shots, but they're exponentially heavier, and then they're fed off of there's not a ramp on the barrel, there's a ramp on the frame, so it makes them real ammunition finicky. So, now that reloading's not a thing anymore for me, I would go 9 or 380. But if you're going to go 45, this is the one I recommend. Just don't forget, you get 50 rounds for free. Then it needs to be cleaned or you're going to start having malfunctions. I don't know why it is. I tried to figure it out. I tried using different lubricants because maybe I was just using the wrong lubricant. But I mean, this was cleaned right before I shot these targets right here. That's what? 5, 10, something like 16 rounds, and it's already full of crap. There's a bunch of garbage in there. The front of the firearm's even starting to get a bunch of carbon across the top of it. I think 45 is just a dirty ammo, and once it slows down the slide velocity, because there's so much mass here that it's trying to bring forward, it's not able to do it properly anymore. Anyway, if you'd like to check out any of my other videos, click on the cards up here. If you'd like to help support the channel, I got my Patreon. Also, I got affiliate links down in the description. Even if you don't buy what the link's for, just clicking on the link and doing your Amazon shopping you were going to do anyway, I get a little kickback for it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.